Well, hi, good morning. Thanks again for joining me in my shop. Since the last video, between then and now, I've done a couple more hours of twiddling, fooling around with this radio and all my equipment. And none of it's on video, and maybe that's a good thing. Lots of weird stuff went on. What can I tell you? All this to just try to get these very typical diagrams to appear on my scope. No, it never did, no matter what I tried. But I got lots of other strange things, including one display that I'm pretty sure is sufficient for aligning the radio, especially the FM detector, which is the part I'm really focused on. Lots of experimenting yesterday, so I'm going to pick up exactly from where I left off. I'm going to realign the IF because I've been fiddling with it so much. We're just going to double check it, make sure it's okay. Listen to the radio, make sure it's sounding good. Then we're going to go to the front end, the FM front end adjustments. We're going to tune those, hoping to pick up the strength a little bit higher because it's still just a little bit weak. What I've noticed with this radio right now is if you want really good sound from FM, you have to tune this thing so precisely to get it. If you're slightly off, just a couple degrees of the knob, and I can hear a little bit of distortion anyway, and I can certainly see it on the scope. So, you know, I think these older radios do not have any frequency tracking or tuning tracking, like automatic frequency control, which is really automatic tuning a little bit. I don't think these things have those features in them. So this might be why I have to tune it so precisely, and it may be why automatic frequency control became so popular in radios subsequent to this. So this is a very simple FM radio, so I probably shouldn't expect the highest performance or the easiest operation out of it. Okay, having said all that, so what have I got hooked up here? So I have this frequency or this signal generator running, but I'm not using it. It's just sitting here waiting. What I'm actually using is one you can't really see from there. Okay, so I'm using this FM signal generator, and I also have an antenna here. You can see it's just a piece of wire hanging from the ceiling here in the shop. Nothing special about that. So I can occasionally listen to real radio. One of the reasons I wanted to do things off camera yesterday was because I played a lot of music out of here, and I can't do it on my videos because of copyright problems. But you need to listen to music to really know that you've got one of these things tuned well. And again, my experience continually is better to use my ears than to use instruments, and I'm still experiencing that. So let's get going on this scope here. I gotta get the light out of the way. Okay, well, I just turned everything off and left the shop yesterday. We should be able to turn it all back on and get exactly what we had. So this is currently putting out a mono FM signal, no 19 kilohertz pilot, and 400 hertz modulation. So we should hear all that. Oh, let's give her full power here. Give her. Let's give her. Here it comes. Now the output from the FM signal generator is right here. You can see two clip leads here, but these are actually not connected metallically into the radio. They're just clipped on this piece of board here, just in proximity to the antenna input. So and these two, that's coming from the other signal generator, just sitting here waiting in case I want to employ them. Now, on this radio, there are a whole bunch of test points, what I would call test points. You can see them here. There's quite a few of them on the board. I can find no reference to them. I can't find anything that suggests they are actually test points, but they sure are attractive for putting a scope on. And I found when I put my scope on this particular one, I get a pretty good scope display here. Now, there were some weird things going on here right at the end yesterday when I was working in here, in that it appeared to me the reception strength of the radio was jumping up by a factor of almost 1,000 twice. So I don't know what that's about, and what that looks like is I had this turned way down like this, and then after these inexplicable or unexplained jumps in performance, I had to crank this way up to where it is now. It's not performing well at the moment, but you know, Mr. Murphy's here with me. I know he's here. So let's try a few things. So I'm going to put the signal generator onto sweep. Okay, and you can see a little bit of an S curve there. Let me tune the radio. That. Okay, so we have the classic S curve on there. I'm using sweep here to do this. I'm not using the 60 cycle I guess I have to use the word sweep. 60 cycle sweep here to do this. This is just a regular sweep, and it's just triggering on the signal, and I'm getting a nice S display there. Let's muck it up. So the idea of this is you want this to be balanced. So you kind of look for where the center line is. And, you know, how much peak is above, how much peak is below, how straight is this line here. These are the things you're trying to get right. It looks pretty good there, doesn't it? Hey, before I do any more, let's tune in a station. Now, I'm just going to take it off that because I don't want to copyright it. That sounded great to me. What you can see on the display when it's just playing regular program material is you can kind of see an upper limit and a lower limit, and you can see the signal kind of banging into the top and into the bottom a little bit, and then you can kind of tell where the average or the middle is. And when I adjust this last coil, this is the coil that's the transformer secondary that's driving into the discriminator, decoder, detector, whatever you want to call it. If I can get that sort of average or middle line right into the middle, then I get the most distortion-free sound. Well, I can demonstrate that a little bit. I'm going to have to turn the music on and off while I do this. Okay, I may have thrown it off already. Okay, I tuned it. Let's tune it back in. Okay, there it is. I just turned the volume down to cut it off. So now you don't even have to listen to it. Just watch as I adjust this. You'll see that average kind of went to the top. Here, now the average is down around the bottom, and if I get it in the middle, it's a little hard to spot. You know, you just gotta kind of use. So I'd say that's a middle. Now we'll listen to it, and I'll do the same adjustments. Okay, I'm probably going to get a copyright hit on that. So if some funny things happen in this video, it's me trying to work my way around the copyright hits in terms of chopping it up a little bit. So anyway, that's what I ended up doing instrument-wise to verify that this guy was tuned right. I also fiddled with the IF over and over, and that's why I think we need to take a moment and verify the IF is peaked out at 10.7. So I'm going to switch now from, I'm just going to move these farther away. It's quite a strong signal coming off these leads here. Well, I'm going to switch to using the AM frequency generator here. Let me put that. Go. Listen to this now. Hey, still listening. I'm going to shorten the antenna. Just a single clip lead. How good is this radio? Still picking it up. Wow, that's pretty good. Now, I'm going to tune it off that program. Okay. Now we want to push 10.7 into the antenna here. It will make its way through the radio. And we already got 10.7 pumping at it right now. How come we're not hearing it? 1,000 hertz tone we should hear. Right in there. Wow. I got something not quite right here. Oh, yeah. This might help. .7. This isn't quite right. What's up here? Why are you behaving this way? I think they should be producing an awfully loud tone. Let's put it even higher. So I'd say it's the strongest at 770. Well, we can hear it. That's good enough to get going. But like I say, I monkeyed with all the adjustments here. So let's monkey them all back. Something's not right here. The signal is just way too low coming out of the radio. Scope connection? I found the scope connection didn't cause any problems. What's happened here? Well, you know, it's not quite normal to shove 10.7 into the antenna terminal. That is the instructions that come with the radio's alignment. Shove it right in here. There's another point at which I can inject this. Why don't we try that? Right into the output of the tuner down here, which is the same as rate. Maybe not. I was going to say it's the same as rate. Right here, right here. Oh. Yikes, that's a bad move. Okay, so I say yikes, that's a bad move. I saw what happened up here. You know, I hooked this up without a protective capacitor to... Bad move, bad move, bad move, bad move. Let's just try things... It's a little better. Multiple peaks. Okay, let's see if we can get it peaked up like this. I still think there's something not quite hunky-dory here, because this is a very powerful signal. I'm guessing at this terminal too. Okay, let's carry on here. Just doing it roughly. It's all so what I'm doing, what I did just there is the 4 microfarad capacitor that connects to the output of the detector. In the instructions it says remove it for doing some of these tests, and so I've desoldered it and I can disconnect it by just moving it a bit. What I found in practice though was it didn't seem to benefit anything in any way in any of these tests I did. So it's in contact now, it's working the way it should be. If you remove that capacitor, the distortion is very bad and lots of RF appears in here. So that capacitor is draining out a lot of RF. Why so weak? What has happened here? You know, I had this thing working just great. I think it is still working great. I had the test working great, shut everything off, went away like yesterday, came back in, as you saw, turned it all on, and Mr. Murphy got in here in the meantime. Could it be something stupid like a tube contact? What happened? This tube's really hot, so I gotta be a little careful here. You know, I don't think it's pin contact. And now it's gone completely. Uh-oh. What? It's not this guy. No, yeah, you know, it's this guy. Because they haven't soldered him back. That's all it is. So I'm going to solder this capacitor back because I found that didn't seem to help with anything having it off, and I can't have it slipping off during this. Boy, I tell you, I thought I'd be through this in a matter of a couple of minutes. And we'd be on to doing the very front end. I'm hoping to find a little more oomph and be done. I want to be done this. I've got another radio I got to get onto, and priorities have changed. I've got a great classic floor standing shortwave radio, big cabinet, big speaker. There we go. Ready to come in here. There. So I think I'm going to go ahead and solder that right back, or maybe I'll forget in the long run. In the meantime, in the bottom of one of the boxes I had, I found this thing. So this is a stamp, you know, you'd ink it up and then stamp with it, so it's all backwards. If you read it, it says Bravo Yankee DX Club by da 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 da. So I guess you'd stamp it and then sign your name or something like that. And on there is a tower. I'm not sure what that tower is. I thought it was a Statue of Liberty, but it's certainly not. You know what? It's probably a great big antenna tower of some sort. No idea how I got this from the Bravo Yankee DX Club. Hey, I wonder if it's still around. I'll just tap a little solder on here. Okay. There we go. Power back on. Okay, not to be fooled here. Those kinds of mechanical intermittent problems, those can be really, really tough to track down. You see I'm flexing the tube here and it's causing this connection over here to go. At least, hey, that's what I thought was happening. Let's turn the radio up again. Okay. Where's our 10.7 signal? All over the map. So I probably just really threw these controls off. Yeah. I call them controls, you know, I should call them trimmers. That's really what they are. But, somehow I've adopted the modern term control. Now, you know, a good FM radio will not respond to amplitude modulation. And so I am sending in a modulated signal here. It really shouldn't be able to hear the modulation. But no radios, none of these radios are perfect. Maybe that was the idea of getting rid of what's going on here. Let's go back to what they are. Tell me to put it in the antenna. A very powerful 10.7 going into the antenna. It's actually a little better to work with. 800. I'm going to repeat all this with an FM signal in just a moment. What's happening there? So what I was doing there is I'm touching the output of the tuner with my finger. I myself become an antenna at that point. Somehow I'm conveying the signal from the signal generator more powerfully into the radio than having it connected straight to the antennas. How the heck? Okay, let me pump this signal. You know, when I picked this may not be the right spot. I was guessing at this. Let's try the putting the output of that signal generator onto the output of this tuner, thereby connecting it to the input of the IF. Turn this guy down because it should be. Here we go. Okay, and this one. Okay, what do we got now? Let me turn it up a little bit. Oh, that's much better. I can work with that. So I think, you know, the name of the game was putting it on down here was a mistake. Okay, now we're getting some of the weirdness I was experiencing yesterday. I'm standing perfectly still here. Watch the oscilloscope. Not very dramatic. Yesterday, this display was going up and down, all kinds of weird, random ways. I'm not sure what causes that. Well, let's ignore it and carry on. So we think it's tuned around 10.78 poorly. Let's get it down to where it's supposed to go. Okay, so I can barely hear it. Doesn't seem to make any difference. What happened there? What happened there? Did you hear that? That did. What's going on? Where'd it go? Just faded out. I hear it. Just for a moment there, it just popped in really. Now it's just gone. What all am I wiggling here? Okay, it went away. It went away. Well, let's get it back. So I don't know what's going on with this radio, but something's going on. Try again. just by ear right now. These ones even matter? Oh. Okay, so I think I had a short between the leads here. Okay, let's try again. Let's try it again. Very distinct peak now. Way off from where it should be. Here we go again. That's different. What's happening there? What happened? What happened? Okay, so you know what? Having this hooked up here is probably disturbing the transformer here. So stop that. I basically have it connected to the secondary side of the transformer inside here that's putting the signal out. It's disturbed that secondary side, and it doesn't matter what you do with the transformer. So I've whacked this way out now, but that's okay. Let's see, are we yet? Way off still. Where are we? Peak, down. It's kind of weird. Hey, I'm using an AM signal to try to align this FM radio. Let's use the FM signal. Okay, so we'll turn this off so we don't have any interfering IF signal hitting the radio. Now we'll bring over the FM. I'm going to disconnect these entirely here because they're almost certainly shorting the tuner output. I'm now going to put these just in proximity to the antenna input. There is no other antenna on here. This FM signal generator transmits around 100. We'll tune there. Turn the volume up here. Come on, little radio. Where are you? Wow, totally killed it now. Okay, we'll make a direct connection here with one lead. They're really putting in a pretty strong FM signal now. I try to find the 100. Jimmy, what'd you do? There it is. Okay, you can see on the scope there's a wee bit of a sort of an S thing trying there. Where am I at here? So the scope is looking at the signal right around the last transformer here. I'm not exactly sure where it's looking. So what we get here. Oh, so we can improve the strength there. Can you see on the scope? Wow. Wow. Tell me that's out. Looking for a little better camera angle here for you. Down a bit. Just trying to maximize this. See, the screwdriver's having a bit of an influence too. I like it right in there. Okay, now let's go through the IF here, see if we can make this thing bigger. Not really. Okay, I'm going to disconnect the antenna from the direct connection here. Make it a proximity connection. Oh, that really knocked the wind out of it. It's good. And we'll continue. It's about the biggest screwdriver effect. In there. Let's go back here. Be interesting to listen to this once I do all of this. See what we get. It's not much of an S anymore. Hey, Jim, you're just fiddling around. Yeah, that's true. Alright, now I'm going to do the secondary of the detector transformer. This one is the one that really affects the shape there. See? That's where we got to get it, something like that. Okay, so by instrument, this radio appears to be tuned up pretty good. Let's listen to it without touching anything. I got to hook up an antenna here again. And this is where I'll find out that in the end, once again, I've got to just use my ears to do the last bit. Let's see. Okay, we'll tune in a station now, hopefully. Seems fairly weak to me. So we turned it up about 40% of the knob.
Shower 21 degrees. Hey everybody, it's Tim Hicks. RCICXFM.
So what I'm going to do at this point is I'm going to tune in one of these stations, let the music play. I'm going to go through the alignment process. I'll leave it on the video. You know what, I won't. I'm just going to cut. I'm going to stop the video. Just listening to music, I'm going to do exactly the same thing you saw me do. Adjust these. I'll leave this last one, and we'll see where I get. So let's hear it here. What's it sound like? That's what it sounds like.
This is CJMU 102.3 FM, Bracebridge and Gravenhurst, a Bayshore broadcasting station, independently owned and locally operated. We are Country 102.
Yikes! Okay, I'm headed my way, right. So that probably cost me a hit there. So we got the radio back to the best that it ever sounds. This is the best it ever sounds. Now remember, I did put back the original tubes, did I not? So one of the tubes was a little weak. Maybe that's what I'm fighting against here. So I think that's the end of the road for the FM alignment. I just can't seem to squeak any more out of it except for the very front end. So that's what we're going to do next. I'm going to move on from the IF, which I have beat the living daylights out of, or it has beat the living daylights out of me. So what I've got to do now, 90 megacycles, can't do it, so I'm going to put 100 megacycles in, middle of the band, and adjust A2223 for maximum deflection on a meter, and turn at the other end of the band and do A2425. So we're just going to do these right in the middle of the band, right on the signal generator output, which isn't totally appropriate, but what else can I do? So I got to find 2223. Let's change. Let's first tune in the signal generator here. Okay, signal generator tuned in. This is not the best display to use, but anything that shows strength is going to work. 22 and 23. Okay, so 22 and 23 are on the tuner. 22 is the bottom one here, and 23 is second one down on the left. Let's start with 23, second one down on the left. Better listen to this too. We're watching the display and hoping it gets way better. Bigger, bigger and better. Okay, here we go. Oh yeah, bigger, 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 bigger. Come on, bigger. You can do it, man. Wow, there's a whole pile of signal. You notice this is totally out of balance now, but that's okay. In fact, I can quickly bring it back, I think. If I go over here and do something like that. That's a fantastic improvement. Now let's try the other one. That's this one down here. Ooh, wow. Okay, so it's not so much making it stronger, kind of tuning it. Try to put it back where it was. Wow, okay, so what's that sound like now? More volume. Sorry about that. Kind of driving my shop microphone's very close to the speaker. Beautiful. Yeah, close my eyes and I can't hear any distortion. Beautiful. So what I've achieved there with the last tuning is It's made this bigger, and I think that gives more room for the signal. Now I should go through the whole IF again now that I found this extra supercharge. Let's tune back in the signal generator here. Hey, I feel like I'm getting somewhere. Here it comes. Okay, right there. Turn it down a little bit. Now we'll run through them all again. So this is the output transformer from the tuner box. I'm able to straighten this line up a little bit here. I'm not sure if that's really helpful. Okay, about the same. The screwdriver's having an effect. Let's go down the IF now. Maybe I should pump 10.7 into this thing again and see how it works this time. Okay, so this all seem to be pretty good. This last one. This is the one that really changes the S-curve around here. I'd say right in there. I'd say we got this guy finally. Right to the front ones again. I don't want to fool. That one does a lot of weird stuff. Excellent. Let's listen to this radio one more time here. Oop, not like that. How about like this? The distorted guitar is a little hard to use for a check. Whoa. Wow, strong signal here. Beautiful. Okay, so now your ears pick it up. I think the speaker has a problem in this radio. After all that, I think the speaker might have a problem. Sounds a little grumbly. Sounds like a voice coil rub or something like that. Okay, so what do we got done here? We've got the FM done, we got the AM done, we got the shortwave done, we got everything done. We got the sound really coming good on the FM. I think it's probably time we should do like a big time test, kind of put it back together and see how it works. I can't imagine I'm going to squeak more out of it at this point though. Fantastic. Wow, it's really this last bit on the FM as usual has driven me nuts, but persistence I think has paid off. Great. So next video I'm just gonna have the radio back together and we'll play it, and maybe I'll try that in the evening when there's some short wave stuff like that. Great. Thanks a lot for watching. See you on the next video. Okay, so I just started preparing the last video I shot, and I realized I didn't make two adjustments here. I missed the last two, 23 and 24. 24 and 25. 24 and 25. 25. So 25 is top corner. 24 is the only one I haven't done otherwise. So 25. There we go. Let me just, am I getting in front of this? No. 25. Again, this is supposed to be done at the low end of the band. I'm doing it right in the middle here. There we go. No, it's not it. It's not. What's going on? Is this not a slotted? What's in there? This is a capacitor, this one. There. Okay. Watch that scope. Come on, turn. Oh my gosh, what just happened? What just happened? This thing didn't turn at all. Oh my gosh, what's going on there? I don't know. I'm leaving it. I don't know what's going on in there. Leave that alone. It looks like I looks like I don't know. I don't know what happened. Stay away, run away. Everybody run away. Now the other one, we'll try the other one. Run away to the other one. The other one was the only other one I haven't adjusted. Oh, it's another capacitor. Does that make sense? Way down there. There's two in here I haven't adjusted. What? Ah, man. Oh, I should have left well enough alone. Here we go. And these capacitors, they don't want to turn. You know what? We're gonna leave well enough alone there. I think we're leaving well enough alone.